This is a message from your higher self about how we need to be putting ourselves more out there for others to experience us. And this is going to be insights that I pulled through from a client session, but she gave me permission to share in case it supports you on your journey as well. And I'm going to be saying this over you as though it is your own reading, so it goes in your subconscious at a more expansive level. And if you feel drawn to work together, you can find that information in my bio. So when I went into your energy field, your 8-year-old came forward, your 8-year-old inner child, and they had ketchup and mustard, you know, the containers that they come in like squeezy bottles, and there was a hot dog on the ground. And you know how at like a baseball game they'll be in those kind of like white paper containers, so hot dog on the ground, and they were spraying like ketchup and mustard all over it. And they were laughing like very maniacally, like a villain. They were like ha 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 ha. It was kind of giving the energy of Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove, like her and Kronk, where they're coming up with their plans. And I was like, hey, what are you doing over here? Your 8-year-old said, this is my art. Sometimes you got to be a little messy to keep your imagination alive. So do you want to go up in a helicopter with me? I know that's really random, but that's what I was pulling from your consciousness. I said, do you want to go up in a helicopter with me? And they said yes. And so we go up in one, and we're over this really big forest. Imagine just trees everywhere. And they asked, what are we doing? And I said, oh, look back here. So in the back of the helicopter, there were these giant barrels of ketchup and mustard. I said, we are going to pour these out over the forest. And your 8-year-old said, no, we can't do that. It's going to be too messy. It will get all over the trees. And so what your higher self was expressing with this symbolism is us having a controlled imagination. It's okay if it is in these very specific parameters, like this more smaller version of like a hot dog on the ground, but when we trying to expand, it's like, oh, that's a little too much. And also them having a very considerate heart, like you and your inner child was saying, I don't want to get the trees messy. However, what I was explaining to your inner child is this is our imagination. Okay, we're coming in with very lovely intentions. This is a product of our own mind. It's not like we're going into an actual forest and dumping ketchup and mustard everywhere. It's more for us to have a playful experience of like exploration. So how do you know that the trees don't want to be a part of the party? Like maybe they want to join in with us. So you know what, let's go down there and ask. So you and I land the helicopter, and we're in the forest, and your 8-year-old's going around and asking them like, hey, do y'all want to join us? And the trees are like, yes, yes, yes. However, there were a couple of the trees that did not want to participate, and they got up and moved to a different area of the forest. And at first your 8-year-old was a little bit disappointed and kind of sad. And I said, hey, why are we feeling that way? And they said, well, they don't want to hang out with us. They don't want to be a part of the party. I said, well, maybe they just don't like these type of parties. I said, maybe they want to go to a disco party instead. Just like maybe you don't like football. we don't necessarily want to go to a party where everybody's, watching it. Maybe we want to go to an ice skating party instead. And your 8-year-old said, oh, it's not me. They just like different parties. I said, yeah, exactly. That doesn't have anything to do with you. So then we go back up into the helicopter above the forest. And your 8-year-old had a megaphone and was like, is everybody ready? All the trees were like, yes. And then we started spraying like ketchup and mustard everywhere. And the trees were all excited, like moving their limbs and their leaves. I said, look how much joy that you have brought into their life. Maybe they were sitting down there bored, just the same scenery over and over and over again, and now comes in this amazing, fun, whimsical child that wants to have this party with them and liven everything up. I asked your 8-year-old, how are you feeling now? And they said, it's time to expand my imagination. The moral of the story, this parable, if you will, your higher self was saying, in childhood and maybe up until adulthood, we felt like we were being judged or ostracized, or we tried our best not to stand out. Maybe we're neurodivergent or very eclectic, and we had to shrink our persona or our charisma because it was outside of the quote unquote norm. However, there are so many other type of persons who want that energy. They want to be able to express themselves authentically. It's not just you. And when we all come together, that's where we feel more sovereign and empowered. And then higher self said, there have been things that you have wanted to put out into the world, creations, where that is art, music, sessions that you want to offer, starting a business, making trinkets, whatever, writing a book, starting a podcast. And we have not really invited ourselves to go to totality with those dreams, goals, and aspirations because we feel like it's going to be too much or people are not going to get it. And that's where the symbolism of, hey, there's a lot of trees that want to experience this with you. Okay, maybe there are some trees that don't want to be a part of it, but that doesn't mean they don't like you personally. They just don't vibe with the event that is happening. And that's where they go see other people for things. But there still is a large group of trees that want to experience you. And that's where we did the subconscious rewiring of, I have this one hot dog that I'm going to give one person. Oh, actually, we're going to make it a whole experience for this forest and all of the trees that want to hang out with me. I would love to hear in the comments if any of the symbolism was a synchronicity for you, like the hot dog and the ketchup and the mustard, or going up in the helicopter, maybe even speaking into a megaphone, or going into the forest with your tree friends. And if you will like, share, comment on this video, join our community so it can get out to more people, I would greatly appreciate you. And I'm wishing you and all of your inner children an absolutely whimsical day.